The maid he hired couldn't read, but she knew every letter his wife ever wrote. The knock came sharp and hollow, like it came from inside the wood instead of outside the door. He froze halfway through tying his boots, staring at the frame as if the sound might repeat. It did, softer this time, quick as a pulse. He opened the door with his jaw tight. Dawn was gray behind her, thin light barely rising over the yard. She stood barefoot on the porch, dress torn at the hem, hair flat with dust. She said nothing. Her palm opened slow. The ring sat there, his wife's, the one he buried with her. His throat locked. "Where did you get that?" She kept her eyes down. "Yours." "That's not what I asked." She held the ring closer, fingers trembling, but steady enough to make it clear she meant him to take it. His hand stayed by his side. "Answer me first." She spoke flat, almost dull. She gave it. The words landed like stones in his chest. His wife had been dead 3 winters. He reached out quick and snatched the ring, turning it over in his palm. Dirt still clung to the curve. His breath rattled. "You dig it out yourself?" "No." "Who told you where she's laid?" "She told me." He finally looked at her proper. She couldn't have been more than 20. Face plain, eyes shadowed deep like she hadn't slept in days. Barefoot on his porch at dawn, holding a dead woman's ring. "Name," he said. She blinked slow. "Don't got one that matters." "You come here why?" "Work." He barked a dry laugh, though nothing about it was funny. "You show up like this and you think I'll just hire you. You need me. Don't tell me what I need. You need someone. I'm here." The silence stretched until the creak of the porch boards under her weight started to sound like a clock. Finally, he shoved the ring into his pocket, voice sharp. "You can't read?" "No." "Can you cook?" "Yes." "Can you clean?" "Yes." "Then you should have come with a name. Should have come with shoes. Should have come without this." He tapped the pocket where the ring now burned against his thigh. Her eyes lifted for the first time. They were gray, not sharp, but steady, the kind of steady that made a man uneasy. "She sent me." "Don't." His voice cracked through the air. "Don't you dare say that." She didn't blink. "She sent me." His hands curled tight until the knuckles went white. "You don't know her." "I know her words." "That's so." "Yes." He stepped forward, close enough to smell the rain still clinging to her hair. "You say that again, I'll throw you off this porch myself." Her chin lifted slightly. "Then do it." For a second he almost did. He almost shoved her back into the dirt road where she must have walked from, left her to wander until the sheriff picked her up for vagrancy, but his hand wouldn't move. Something in the way she stood, barefoot, unflinching, kept him locked in place. "Why me?" he asked low. "You're alone." "Plenty of folks are alone." "You're alone and you don't want to be." The words hit harder than he expected. His mouth opened, but nothing came. She looked past him into the dim house. "Let me in. I'll earn my keep." His jaw worked like he might spit on the ground just to end it. Instead, he said, "You talk too much." She said, "I only say what's true." "And how would you know what's true about me?" Her voice softened, but not weak. "I know because she told me." The air seemed to drop colder even as the sun tried to climb over the trees. He wanted to slam the door. He wanted to shout until his throat bled. Instead, he just stared. Finally, he stepped aside. "One day, that's all." She nodded once. "Don't think silence means trust," he added, voice sharp. "I don't. Don't think work means kindness." "I don't. Don't think you can talk about her again." She paused, then whispered, "I don't have to." His stomach tightened like a knot. He turned quick and walked back inside, leaving the door wide. The boards groaned as she stepped across the threshold, bare feet pressing into the house his wife once kept. The moment the door shut, the silence inside grew heavy, thick as if the walls themselves leaned close to listen. The skillet hissed before he even sat down. She stood over the stove, barefoot still, hair tied back with a strip of cloth torn from her dress. The smell of onions and lard filled the air, sharp and heavy. He rubbed his eyes, trying to shake the weight in his chest. He hadn't had another soul cooking in that kitchen since his wife died. "You know your way around this room," he muttered. She flipped the onions with a wooden spoon. "I do." "You ever worked here before?" "No." "Then how?" "She showed me." He stared at her back, his hand tightening around the table's edge. "Don't start with that." She didn't turn. "I didn't." He stood, walked to the counter, pulled open the top drawer. The letters sat inside, folded neat, his wife's handwriting still curling across yellowed pages. He lifted one and set it down hard. "You can't read this." "No." "Then say what it says." She stirred the pan, voice steady. "Dearest, if the rain keeps falling, I fear the wheat won't take root this year. I'll pray the ground listens." His fingers twitched against the page. "That's word for word." "Yes." "You've been sneaking in here?" "No." "Someone read these to you?" "No." "Then how the hell—" "She told me." The spoon scraped against iron. The sound rattled in his teeth. He shoved the letter back into the drawer. "You mock me?" "I work." "Don't twist this." She turned at last, eyes catching his, face blank. "I don't mock." He stepped closer. "She's gone. 3 years gone. Don't stand there and spit her words at me." "I don't spit. I keep them." His chest heaved. The skillet popped. He slammed his fist against the counter. "Stop!" She lowered her voice. "The hens are laying thin shells. Maybe the soil is sick. Maybe I am too." His breath broke like glass. He grabbed the letter, read the lines himself. Every word matched. He dropped it on the counter. "Enough." She faced the stove again, stirring calm. "You talk like that again, I'll throw you out." "I'll still know them." He barked a harsh laugh. "You think I'm afraid of you?" "No." "Then what?" "You're afraid of her." He froze. His knuckles whitened on the chairback. "Say that again." "You're afraid of her voice coming back." The room filled with the smell of cooked onions, heavy, pressing. He turned his face from her. "You don't know me." "I know her words." "Words don't mean truth." "Then why keep them locked?" He swallowed hard. "Because they're mine." She plated the food, slid it across the table. Bread, onions, eggs fried crisp. She sat nothing for herself, just stood with arms loose at her side. He didn't touch the plate. His eyes stayed on the drawer. "You can't read," he said again, softer now, like saying it enough times might make it real. "No." "Yet you recite." "Yes." "You expect me to believe." "No." "Just here." His jaw tightened. He stabbed the fork into the eggs, chewed without tasting. "What else did she tell you?" "Enough." "Enough what?" "Enough to keep you." He slammed the fork down. "I don't need keeping." She tilted her head. "Then why am I here?" He stared hard, searching her face for cracks. There were none. Only stillness. His hand shook as he reached again for the drawer. He pulled every letter out this time, stacking them high. His wife's handwriting curved across them like ghosts pressed flat. He gathered the pile, walked to the cabinet, and shoved them inside. He snapped the lock shut with a sharp click. "There," he said. "No more words." Her voice came quiet from behind him. "I hear the coyotes at night. They don't scare me. I just wonder if you'll come back before they get bold enough to scratch the door." His knees nearly buckled. He gripped the cabinet handle, staring at the lock. "Stop," he whispered. She stepped back toward the stove, hands folding calm in front of her. "I don't need paper. I already know." The room felt smaller, the walls thick with silence. He kept his hand pressed against the cabinet door like he could hold the words inside. The knock this time was louder, steady, official. He knew it before he opened the door. The sheriff stood on the porch, hat low, boots caked in mud. His hand rested on his belt, though no gun showed. "Morning," the sheriff said. "Barely," the widower answered. "Mind if I come in?" "You already planned to." The sheriff stepped inside without waiting. His eyes flicked across the room, catching the maid near the hearth, folding rags into neat squares. She didn't look up. The sheriff's boots thudded against the floor. "She yours?" "She works here." "Since when?" 2 days. The sheriff rubbed his jaw. "Town's been talking." "Town always talks." "Not like this." The widower's mouth tightened. "Say it plain." The sheriff tilted his chin toward the maid. "They seen her at night. Graveyards, wandering between stones." The widower let the words hang. He glanced at her. She kept folding, calm, as if the conversation wasn't about her. "You believe that?" the widower asked. "I don't trade in belief. I trade in order." "Then order your men to quit gossip." The sheriff's eyes narrowed. "You don't want whispers on your land. Whispers become torches." The maid finally spoke, voice even. "Torches are held by cowards." The sheriff turned his head slow. You call me that? She placed the folded rag on the pile. If the boot fits. The sheriff's jaw flexed. Girl, I could haul you in right now. She met his stare without flinching. Then do it. But you won't. The room went still. The widower shifted his weight, uneasy between them. Enough, he cut in. The sheriff's eyes slid back to him. You trust her? I don't trust anyone. Smart. Then hear me. Keep her close if you want, but don't bring her to town. Don't let her wander. Folks already uneasy. She's not theirs to judge. Everyone's theirs to judge when it comes to graves. The maid's voice sharpened. The dead don't belong to the sheriff or the town. They belong to themselves. The sheriff's mouth curled in a half smile. That's the kind of talk gets nooses tied. The widower stepped forward. You came here to warn me or scare me? Both. Well, I've heard it. Now leave. The sheriff stayed still, eyes locked on the maid. What do you see in the dirt, girl? What do you whisper over bones? She said, steady as stone. I hear what they still have left to say. The sheriff let out a short laugh, but it held no humor. You'll bring ruin to this house. The widower's voice cracked through the air. This house already knows ruin. For a moment, the sheriff looked like he might spit on the floor. Instead, he tipped his hat, turned toward the door. He paused on the threshold, glancing back one last time. Careful, I've buried men for less. The maid answered, soft but sharp. Then you've buried too easy. The sheriff's boots hit the porch. Heavy, final, each step fading slow until only the hush of mourning filled the house. The widower stood still, hand pressed against the table's edge. The silence weighed like a chain. He looked at her. Why do you talk that way? Because he lies. He carries the law. He carries fear. You don't know him. I know men who hide behind badges. He rubbed his forehead, the old ache pressing deep. You think you can stand against all of them? I don't stand against. I stand. His voice dropped. You'll get us both burned. Her reply came simple. Only if you let them strike the match. He turned away, staring at the locked cabinet where the letters sat. The air felt thick, close, like the sheriff had left something behind even after he was gone. He woke to the creak of the rope. A hollow groan rolled through the yard, steady as breath. He stepped out onto the porch, boots unlaced, shirt hanging open. She was at the well. The bucket rose hand over hand, her grip sure despite the rawness on her palms. She set it down, water sloshing clear over the rim. Then she hummed, low and even, a tune he knew too well. His chest locked, his wife's hymn. He strode across the yard. Who told you where that well was? She glanced at him, calm. She did. No one said a word to you about it. I didn't need words. That's private ground. It's water. He stepped closer, voice sharp. Don't you hum that again. She dipped the ladle, lifted it slow. Why? Because it's hers. She gave it. He slapped the ladle from her hand. It clattered across the dirt, water spilling into dust. Stop saying that. She bent, picked it back up, wiped it against her skirt. I won't stop truth. His voice cracked out of him. You don't know truth. You don't know her. You're nothing but a stray come begging. She drank from the ladle, eyes on him over the rim. Then why am I here? His fists clenched. Because I was weak enough to let you. No. Yes. No, because she sent me. He lunged forward, grabbing her arm hard. Enough. I'll throw you out right now. She looked down at his grip, then back to his face. Do it. His hand trembled. He released her, stumbling back a step. You mock me. No, I keep her. He shouted, voice tearing the air. She's gone. The sound rang against the trees. Birds scattered from the fence line, but she didn't flinch. Not to me. He spun, pacing the dirt. You come here barefoot, carrying rings out of graves, speaking words you got no right to, humming songs only she knew, and I'm supposed to stand still and take it. Yes. Why? Because you're afraid. He stopped cold. Afraid of what? Of her still being here. His breath came fast, uneven. She's not. Then why do you keep her locked in paper? He barked a laugh, bitter. You think that's what I keep? Paper? Yes, paper and silence. You don't know silence. I live in it. His face burned. You talk too much for someone who claims silence. I speak when needed, same as her. He grabbed the bucket and kicked it over. Water spilled into the dirt, soaking the hem of her dress. Needed. You think I need this? She looked down at the wet fabric, then back up. Yes. He slammed his fist against the well's wood frame. I'll burn those letters. Every last one. You already tried. His jaw tightened. And I'll do it again. She stepped closer. It won't change what I know. He backed away, shaking his head. You're sick. No, just faithful. To what? To her words. To her song. To what she left. He shouted so hard it scraped his throat raw. She left nothing, nothing but rot and earth. Her calm cut through his rage. She left you. The words froze him. His body stiffened like the ground itself had turned to stone beneath him. She bent, righted the bucket, lowered it back into the well. Rope squeaked. Water rose again. She hummed, soft but steady, the same hymn as before. Stop it, he whispered. She didn't. His breathing turned ragged. I said stop. Still she hummed. He staggered back toward the porch, hands shaking, eyes wide. The sound followed him, gentle, patient, refusing to break. Inside the house, he grabbed a chair, hurled it hard against the wall. Wood splintered, echoing through the room. He leaned against the frame, chest heaving, sweat dripping down his temple. She stood in the doorway, bucket in hand, eyes steady. Silent now. He glared at her, breathless. What are you? She didn't answer. She only stared, calm as stone, water still dripping from the rim of the bucket onto the floorboards. He tore the cabinet open with a crack of splintering wood. The lock snapped off, clattering against the floor. His hand shook as he pulled the stack free, pages spilling loose, his wife's handwriting flashing across yellowed paper. The maid stood by the hearth, still as stone, eyes fixed on him. He slammed the letters onto the table. This ends now. She didn't move. You think you know her? His voice cut sharp. Then watch me burn her. He grabbed the first page, struck a match, and held it to the corner. Flame caught quick, curling black. The maid's voice broke the silence, calm and steady. Dearest, the air smells of rain today. I hope you are safe on the road. I feel you near, though you're far. He froze, watching the words vanish under flame. Stop. She did not. I stitched your shirt again. The thread is weak, but I pray it holds. I want you to come home, wearing it whole. He slammed the burning page into the hearth. Ash scattered. He grabbed another, lit it, tossed it in. Enough. Her voice carried over the crackle. The hens are restless. I don't sleep well. I wonder if the night speaks to you too, if you hear what I hear. He turned, rage breaking loose. Shut your mouth. She stared at the fire, not him. If the coyotes grow bolder, I will sing to them. I will sing until you come back to me. He shoved a chair out of the way, grabbed another handful of letters, flame catching faster now, smoke rising thick. These are mine, mine. Her voice stayed level, unbroken. You once told me you hated silence. I filled the house with words so you'd never feel alone. I still do. He staggered, clutching a half-burnt page, knuckles white. How do you know all this? She told me. She's dead. She speaks. He hurled the last pages into the fire. Smoke filled the room, thick, choking. He bent, coughing, eyes wet from more than the smoke. Please stop. She kept her gaze on the flames. If I leave before you return, I'll wait at the edge of the field. Don't cry. Just follow my song. His hands pressed to his ears, voice breaking. Stop it. For God's sake, stop. Her voice softened but didn't falter. I never feared the dark. I only feared you'd forget my words. He dropped to his knees, chest heaving. I haven't forgotten. Then why burn them? Because they're killing me. No, they're keeping you. He looked up, sweat and tears mixing down his face. I can't live with her still here. She's not leaving. He slammed his fist against the floorboards. Then what do you want from me? Nothing, only to remind. The fire roared, flames licking the chimney, swallowing every letter until nothing but blackened scraps remained. He slumped against the wall, shaking his head. You're not her. You'll never be her. I don't try. Then why speak like her? Because you won't. He glared through the haze. You think you're strong, don't you? Walking in here, taking her voice, making me weak. She stepped closer, eyes on the fire. I don't make you weak. She still does. His breath caught. The words struck deep. The flames died low. Only embers now. Smoke drifted heavy across the room, stinging his lungs. He whispered, almost pleading, "Why me? Why this house? Why her words? Because you're the one who listened." His head dropped forward. He wanted to scream, but no sound came. Just the hiss of the dying fire. She crouched near the hearth, hands folded calm. "If you burn me, I'll rise with the smoke. If you silence me, I'll hum through the walls. If you bury me, I'll wait in the roots." His chest rose sharp, broken. "That's not in any letter." "No." "Then where?" "She told me." He buried his face in his hands, shaking. "You're not real." Her voice cut clean. "I am." He lifted his head, eyes bloodshot, breath unsteady. "Then who are you?" Her gaze stayed fixed on the cooling ash. "The one who remembers." The fire sank into embers, orange glow fading soft. The last curl of smoke rose slow toward the rafters. Her voice whispered through the silence, steady, final. "And if you ever forget me, I'll remind you." The ashes cooled, the room holding only her words. The hall smelled of sweat and lamp oil. Wooden benches scraped against the floor as the townsfolk settled, their voices low and sharp, whispering more than speaking. The widower stood at the back, arms crossed. The maid sat in the front row. Bare feet flat against the planks, spine straight. An old man cleared his throat. "She don't belong here." A woman near him nodded. "Seen her walkin' where no woman should. Seen her near graves." Another voice rose. "She hums to the dead." The widower spoke loud, sharp. "That's enough." The old man turned. "You brought her here. You answer for her. She works. She stays quiet. That's all." "Quiet?" The woman hissed. "She brings words that ain't hers. That's not quiet. That's curse." The maid finally spoke, calm, steady. "I don't curse. I keep." The old man sneered. "Keep what?" "Truth." He spat on the floorboards. "Truth don't come from girls with no name." The maid met his eyes. "Truth don't care who speaks it." The room bristled, murmurs rippling like dry leaves. The widower stepped forward. "She's no threat." The woman's voice cracked high. "Every curse starts small." The maid said, clear enough for all to hear, "Your fear is louder than me." A man in the corner stood. His coat marked him from one of the oldest families, his voice carrying weight. "We don't take kindly to strangers stirring graves. We don't take kindly to women with no scripture, no letter, no name." The widower's jaw clenched. "You want her gone because she's not yours." The man's eyes cut back. "We want her gone because she's wrong. She's done nothing but work. She works in shadows. She speaks the dead." The maid lifted her chin. "The dead speak themselves. You're just afraid to hear." Gasps rolled through the benches. The old man jabbed a finger toward her. "There, you hear it. Arrogance." The widower snapped. "She's telling you straight." "Not arrogance. Fact." The man in the coat smirked. "You defend her quick." "She's under my roof." "Then maybe your roof's rotten." The room went quiet. The widower's fists curled, but the maid's voice broke through before he spoke. "You sit here with old names and old lands guarding them like graves, but none of you can stop truth." The woman shook her head. "She's not right. You can see it. She looks like one of us, but speaks like she ain't." The widower turned on the maid. "You're not helping." She faced him, unblinking. "I'm not here to help lies." His voice dropped hard. "You're not here to stir them either. They stirred themselves the moment I walked in. You could bow. Just once. Ease them." "I don't bow." "Then you'll break us both." Her eyes didn't move. "No, they'll break themselves." The murmurs grew louder, echoing off the walls. The man in the coat lifted his hand, calling for silence. "This meeting's done. We'll watch. And if your roof falls, don't say we didn't warn you." Benches scraped. Boots thudded against the planks as the townsfolk filed out, voices low, faces drawn tight. No one looked at the maid as they passed. Some glanced at the widower, eyes cold, but most kept their gaze forward. The hall emptied, air heavy with smoke and dust. Only the two of them remained, oil lamps flickering against the walls, shadows stretching long. The widower spoke first, low and raw. "You don't understand what they can do." She answered, just as low. "I understand what they already are. You're tearing me apart in front of them. You're already torn." He shook his head, anger sharp. "I can't keep standing in front of you like a shield." "You don't have to." "Then what are you here for?" She turned her face toward the lamp glow. "To remind." He stepped closer, voice breaking. "Of what?" Her eyes found his, steady, unshaken. "That you can't bury what still breathes." The lamps hissed. The hall pressed silent around them, the echoes of the townsfolk fading into night. The wind struck first, rattling the shutters like fists on a coffin lid. Rain followed, heavy, slashing across the yard in sheets. He bolted the windows, lantern light shaking on the walls. When he stepped onto the porch, she was already there, barefoot planted on the wet boards, hair whipping wild, face turned up into the storm. "Get inside," he barked. She didn't move. "You'll be struck down out here." She raised her voice against the roar. She said storms carry voices. That's when they can be heard. He grabbed her arm. "You'll drown standing like this." She yanked free, shouting louder. "Dearest, I hear you. I'm not afraid." The words cut him to the bone. His wife had written them once, almost the same. His stomach lurched. "Don't you say that?" She spread her arms wide. She did. Lightning cracked across the sky. White fire splitting the clouds. Rain hammered harder. He lunged, wrapping his arms around her, dragging her back through the door. She kicked once hard, but he pulled her inside, slammed it shut. The wind howled against the house like it wanted her back. He shoved her against the wall. "Are you trying to die?" Her chest heaved, eyes bright. "No, I'm trying to live her." He shook his head, water dripping from his hair. "You don't know what you're saying." "I know every word." "They're not yours." "They're not yours either." His hand slammed against the wall beside her. "She was my wife." Her voice rose to match him. "And she gave herself away." The air snapped silent. Only the storm outside filled the gap. His body went rigid, his mouth dry. He whispered, "What did you say?" "She betrayed you." "She told me." His breath broke. "You lie." "She said you failed her." He stepped back, shaking his head hard. "No. She said you left her alone too long." His throat locked. "Stop." "She sang to the wind because you wouldn't hear her." He staggered to the table, gripping the edge. "You don't know what you're saying." "She said you broke her heart before she died." His fist crashed down, rattling the lantern. "Enough." Her voice dropped, steady and cruel in its calm. "You already knew." He leaned forward, face pale. "She was all I had. And you weren't enough for her." His eyes burned. "I gave her everything. You gave her absence." He sank into the chair, head in his hands. "You think I don't know what I did? You think I don't hear it every night?" She stepped closer, the storm thundering behind her words. "Then why fight me when I speak it?" "Because I can't bear it." "You already do." His shoulders shook. "I loved her. She loved you too. But not only you." His head shot up, eyes wild. "Who?" She held his gaze. "Does it matter now?" "Yes." Her voice softened. "Then you'll never find peace." He slammed a fist against the table. "Tell me." "She's gone. Only her words remain." He stood fast, towering over her. "And you carry them like a weapon." "No, like a duty." "I never asked for this." "She asked me." The house trembled with the storm, rain hammering, wind tearing at the shutters. His voice came raw. "Why me? Why this house? Why her words?" She answered simple. "Because you're the one who still listens." He turned away, chest rising hard, lantern light shaking across the wall. She spoke again, low. "You're not the only one betrayed. You're not the only one broken, but you're the one still alive." He closed his eyes, gripping the chair back like it might hold him upright. The storm began to soften, thunder rolling farther off, rain easing to a heavy patter. The two lanterns on the table burned steady now, their glow soft across the wood. He sat again, exhausted, eyes fixed on her. She didn't move, her face calm, but unreadable. They stayed like that, the storm dying outside. Two figures caught in the flicker of oil flame, their silence an uneasy truce. Neither could break. The sheriff didn't knock this time. His boots struck hard across the porch, and the door swung open under his hand. The widower stood from the table, fists already tight. "You don't walk into my house." The sheriff's voice carried sharp. "Then keep your house clean. I've got reason enough." The maid stood by the hearth, steady, hands folded. She didn't flinch. The sheriff pointed at her. Jewelry, 3 pieces gone from the Crawford's chest, gold brooch, silver locket, ring. Folks say they've seen them on her. The widower's chest rose fast. He turned to her. Well? She spoke plain. I took them. The sheriff smirked. There you have it. She kept going. But they weren't the Crawfords. They were hers. The room went still. The widower's stomach knotted. What do you mean? She gave them to me. His voice cracked. My wife? Yes. The sheriff laughed, low and sharp. You hear this madness? A dead woman gifting jewels? The maid didn't blink. She gave them before she left. The sheriff sneered. Left? She's rotting under stone. The widower's voice rose, raw. How do you know what was hers? She told me. The sheriff cut in quick. She's playing you. She's been stealing all along. The maid's voice sharpened. I don't steal. I keep what's given. The sheriff stepped closer, hand heavy on his belt. You keep lies. You keep curses. The widower raised his hand. Enough. I'll ask her. He faced the maid, voice trembling. Where did you find them? In her drawer. In her chest. In her hands. His heart thudded hard. What hands? The ones you folded when you buried her. His throat closed. The sheriff barked again, pressing the point. She admits it. She dug up the grave. The maid's eyes locked on his. No, she gave them before. You just didn't see. The widower's knees weakened. You expect me to believe she gave you jewelry she never showed me? Yes. Why? Because you weren't ready. The sheriff slammed his boot against the floor. She's lying. It's theft. Plain theft. The maid turned on him. You don't know her. I know theft when I see it. You know fear, that's all. The sheriff's jaw tightened. You watch yourself. The widower stepped between them, voice sharp. Both of you, enough. The sheriff's eyes cut to him. She's made a fool of you. The whole town's watching. You keep her here, you'll sink with her. The widower swallowed hard, words heavy. Maybe I already have. The maid's voice softened. You haven't. Not yet. He spun on her. Then tell me truth. Did she give them to you? Yes. When? The day before she died. He shook his head, voice breaking. That's not possible. She was weak. She could barely speak. She spoke to me. She didn't even call my name at the end. She didn't have to. She called mine. The sheriff snorted, ugly and loud. You hear this poison? She's twisting you. Your wife never saw her. Never. The maid stepped closer, voice steady. She saw me before she saw you last. The words sliced through the air. The widower staggered back, face pale. Stop, he whispered. She trusted me with what you couldn't hold. Stop! The sheriff slammed his hand on the table. That's it. I'm done with this circus. You're both guilty. Her for stealing, you for letting her rot this house with lies. The widower snapped. Don't you call her lies. The sheriff barked a bitter laugh. You believe her. His voice came hoarse. I don't know what I believe anymore. The sheriff leaned close, eyes hard. Then I'll tell you. Believe this. I'll be back with a warrant, and if she's here when I return, she won't be walking out. The maid lifted her chin. I'll still be here. The sheriff spat on the floorboards, turned, and stomped toward the door. His boots pounded across the porch, each step fading into the dark. The widower stood frozen, heart hammering, the silence pressing heavy around him. The night was damp, soil heavy underfoot. The lantern swung in his hand, its light spilling weak across the ground. She walked ahead of him, bare feet silent on the path, her hands carrying the small bundle of jewelry wrapped in cloth. He spoke first, voice tight. Why here? Why now? She didn't turn. Because she asked. She's dead. She still asked. The lantern flame flickered in the wind. He swallowed hard. You're leading me to madness. No, to her. They came to the cemetery fence, wood gray with rot. She pushed the gate open. It groaned low, metal scraping. He froze at the edge. This isn't right. She looked back, steady. Then leave. His jaw clenched. He followed. They walked between stones leaning in the earth. The lantern caught names carved shallow, dates worn thin. Finally she stopped. His chest tightened when he saw the stone he knew too well. Her grave. She knelt, set the bundle down, unwrapped it. The jewelry gleamed faint in the lantern glow. Brooch, locket, ring. His throat burned. Where did you— I told you. He stepped closer, voice breaking. You expect me to believe she gave you these? Yes. She never gave me a word. She gave you silence. He flinched. Don't twist this. She laid the pieces at the base of the stone, fingers brushing dirt from its face. They were never mine. They're hers. They always were. He knelt beside her, hands trembling. How do you know this place? How do you know her words? How do you know anything? She told me. His fist slammed against the earth. Enough. Enough with that. She didn't move. You don't believe. I can't. You don't want to. He looked at the stone, then at her. Who are you? Her eyes lifted slow. The one she found. What does that mean? The one she spoke to when no one listened. She had me. You weren't there. His breath caught. I was working. I was keeping us alive. She wanted you, not bread. He rocked back, chest heaving. You talk like you knew her better than me. I did. Rage surged through him. Liar. No. Listener. He stood, towering over her. Why me? Why my house? Why now? She rose to face him, because she wouldn't rest. She should rest. She won't. His voice shook. What do you want from me? Nothing, only truth. What truth? That you failed her. His eyes went wide. Don't. That you loved her, but lost her. Stop. That you can't bury what still breathes. He staggered back, lantern rattling in his grip. You're not flesh. You're not real. I am. Then tell me your name. She paused, then whispered. She called me sister. The word froze him. His mouth opened. No sound came. He whispered, You're not my wife's blood. No. Then what are you? Her gaze cut sharp. Her voice. He pressed his hand to the stone, the cold biting his palm. This is madness. This is memory. The lantern hissed, flame bending in the wind. His voice broke again. Why won't she let me go? Because you still hold her. I burned the letters. She's not paper. I buried her. She's not earth. He trembled, leaning heavy against the stone. Then what is she? The maid's voice softened, almost tender. She is you. His hand brushed across the carved name, the letters rough under his skin. Silence settled deep, heavier than any word. The lantern flickered low, shadows stretching across the grave. He didn't move. Neither did she. Only the night pressed down, holding them still against the weight of stone and memory. The knock came like thunder, fists pounding the door until dust shook from the beams. He grabbed the lantern, swung it open. The sheriff stood with 3 men behind him, rifles in hand. You know why we're here, the sheriff said. She's not going, the widower answered. The sheriff stepped forward. She's a thief, a liar, a curse. Step aside. The maid appeared in the doorway behind him, eyes calm, face steady. I'm not theirs. The sheriff's lip curled. You're nobody's. The widower blocked the frame. She's under my roof. Not for long. The men raised their rifles. The widower's chest tightened. You'll have to shoot me first. The sheriff smirked. Maybe I will. The maid's voice cut through. You won't. The sheriff turned his glare on her. Why not? Because you're afraid. His jaw clenched. Of what? Of truth. The men shifted uneasy, boots scraping. One muttered, This ain't right. The sheriff barked, Quiet. The widower shouted over them all. You don't come here and tear my house apart. The sheriff shoved him back, storming inside. The men followed. The maid didn't move, only watched. The sheriff swept the room. Where's the jewelry? Where's the proof? The widower's fists curled. There is none. She admitted it. She said it was given. The sheriff sneered. By a corpse? The maid spoke, soft but sharp. By a woman you never knew. The sheriff whirled on her. Shut your mouth. She didn't. She told me what you hide. The room stilled. The sheriff's eyes narrowed. What's that supposed to mean? The widower looked between them, uneasy. What is she saying? The maid kept her eyes on the sheriff. She said you came to her the night before she died. The sheriff's face went pale, then hard. Lies. The widower staggered. What? The maid repeated steady. He came. She begged him to leave. He didn't. The sheriff's voice roared, "Enough!" The lantern shook in the widower's hand. "Tell me she's lying." The sheriff's jaw locked. "She's twisting you." "Tell me." Before he could answer, a shout came from one of the men. "Fire!" Smoke curled from the back wall, sparks leaping where the lamp had toppled in the scuffle. Flames licked the curtains, fast and hungry. The sheriff barked, "Get water." The men scattered, shouting, boots pounding. The widower grabbed the maid's arm. What did she mean? What did my wife mean? Her face stayed calm even as smoke thickened. "She said he came to take what wasn't his." His breath broke. "No. She said you were gone. She said she called for you, but you didn't come." He shook her. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because fire takes lies first." The sheriff shoved through the smoke, coughing, eyes red. "Don't listen to her." The widower turned on him, voice raw. "Did you touch her? Did you go to my wife?" The sheriff snapped. "She was sick. She didn't know what she was saying." The maid whispered. "She knew." The widower's fist clenched. "Answer me." Flames roared up the walls, smoke pouring. The sheriff drew his pistol, hand shaking. "You want answers? Here's one. She was mine before she was yours." The words hit like a shot. The widower staggered back. The maid whispered again through the chaos. Her last breath was your name, not his. His knees buckled. He dropped against the wall, choking on smoke, the truth cutting deeper than flame. The sheriff waved the pistol, shouting, "We're leaving. House'll burn down around you both." The maid stood firm. "Go then." The sheriff cursed, bolting for the door. The men outside shouted, dragging buckets, but the fire spread faster than their hands could fight. The widower crawled toward the maid, eyes wet from more than smoke. "Why tell me now?" Her voice softened. "Because she wanted you to know you were the one she loved." The fire cracked loud, beams groaning, roof catching. He reached for her hand, but she didn't take it. She only stood still, face lit in flame glow, words steady. "Now you carry her. Not the sheriff, not the town. You." The roar drowned everything. The sheriff's voice shouted from outside, furious. "I'll be back with chains." Then his boots pounded away, men scattering, their voices fading into the night. Inside, the widower and the maid stood among the flames, heat swallowing the walls. The house of memory devoured at last. The fire left only ruins. Blackened beams stuck up from the ash like bones. Smoke drifted in thin trails across the dawn sky, and the smell clung to his clothes, bitter, choking. He sat in the wreckage, knees drawn up, hands black with soot. The house that once held her letters, her ring, her song, was gone. The maid moved slow through the rubble. Her bare feet were cut but steady, her face streaked with smoke but calm. She carried nothing. He rasped, voice dry as cinders. "It's finished." Her answer came quiet but sure. "No." He turned to her, eyes hollow. "The house is gone. The letters are gone. What else could there be?" "The last one." He shook his head hard. "No. I had them all." "You didn't." He pressed his palm to his temple. "I read everyone. I burned everyone. There is nothing left." She stepped closer. "There is. She wrote it the night she died." His chest tightened. "You lie." Her eyes stayed on him. "She gave it to me." He forced a laugh, bitter, broken. "To you? When? How?" "She told me." He slammed his fist into the ash. "Don't start with that again. Don't you dare." But she spoke anyway, slow and steady. "My love, the night is close. I hear boots outside. I prayed he would go, but prayers are small. I wish you were here. I wish you held me once more. If I don't wake, remember this. I loved you. I loved you more than silence, more than fear, more than myself. Don't doubt it. Don't ever doubt it. And if he takes me, remember, I still chose you." The words cut through the ruin sharper than fire. He stared at her, breath shaking. "That's not real." "It is." "She never wrote that." "She did." "Then where is it?" "Not on paper. In me." His hands trembled. "Why not leave it where I could find it?" "She didn't want you to read it cold. She wanted you to hear it living." His throat closed. He bowed his head. "You're cruel." "No, true." Tears streaked down his ash-dark face. "I should have been there." "You weren't." I should have stopped him. You didn't. He gritted his teeth. Then what am I now? The one who knows. He looked up, eyes burning. It's not enough. It is. She loved me. But she loved someone else too. She betrayed me. She chose you still. His voice cracked. Then why send you? Because you wouldn't believe without me. He pressed his hands to his face, shaking. I can't live with this. You already have. His breath came ragged. Tell me why. Tell me why she trusted you. She said I was the one who listened when no one else did. His hands dropped. I was her husband, and you left her alone. He stumbled to his feet, rage breaking through grief. I worked. I bled for this land. I built everything we had. She wanted you, not the land. He pointed at her, voice raw. You think you knew her better than me. I did. His whole body shook. Then who are you? Tell me plain. Who are you? She stepped close, her face lit by the first stretch of dawn. The one she trusted with her last breath. He staggered back like struck. His voice cracked to a whisper. What did she say? The maid placed his hand over her heart. Her voice dropped low, certain. She said, if he forgets me, remind him. If he doubts me, prove me. If he hates me, love him until he breaks. His knees gave, and he sank into the ash. She said that? Yes. His forehead pressed against his hand, still on her chest. He sobbed, choking against the soot. I didn't deserve her. She thought you did. I failed her. She forgave you. He lifted his head, face streaked wet. And you? Who are you without her words? Her voice stayed steady. No one, and that's enough. The silence after pressed heavy. Only the crackle of cooling ash and the wind through the beams broke the air. He whispered, now I know. She nodded. Yes. The horizon brightened. The sky blushed faint gold, the night fading slow. They stayed there in the ruins. Ash clinging to their skin, neither speaking again. The dawn rose higher, soft light stretching over the wreck of the house, over the broken field, over the two of them sitting wordless, the last letter alive between them still. The ruins smoked through the night. By morning, only ash clung to the air, sharp in the lungs, bitter on the tongue. The sheriff hadn't returned. The men hadn't either. The town kept quiet, watching from a distance but refusing to step close. The widower stood in the frame where the door once hung, boots planted in soot. His shoulders sagged, his eyes hollow from no sleep. The maid was on the porch steps, barefoot as the first day, her dress scorched at the hem. She stared at the dirt road like it was calling her. He spoke first, voice rasped dry. Where will you go? She didn't turn. Away. He frowned. That's not an answer. It's all you'll get. He stepped closer, the ground crunching under his boots. You can't walk out like this. I walked in like this. That was different. No. Same. He clenched his fists, heat flashing. I let you in. You didn't stop me. That's not the same. Her voice stayed flat. It is. He exhaled sharp, shaking his head. After all this, you think you can just leave? Yes. After what you told me. After what I know now. That was my duty. And mine. To carry it. He stepped in front of her, blocking the road. You think you can decide when it ends? It already ended. Not for me. Her eyes lifted to his, calm as stone. Then that's your burden. His voice cracked, anger breaking into grief. You tear me open, and then you walk away. I only showed what was already broken. He gritted his teeth. Why me? Because she loved you. His chest heaved. That's not enough. It's all there is. He shoved his hand through his hair, ash falling from it. You're cruel. No, honest. You've haunted me. She did, not me. You wear her voice. I only carried it. He barked a bitter laugh, empty. So that's all I was. A man waiting for a stranger to carry my wife back to me. She looked at him steady. No, you were the man who still listened. He dropped his gaze. His boots shifted in the soot. And now you don't need me. His head shot up. That's not true. It is. His voice rose. You think I can live with this alone? You always have. His throat closed. And what are you without me? Her reply came sharp. Free. He staggered back. Like the word itself struck him. So that's it. You break me and call it freedom. I gave you truth, and took her from me again. She was never yours to keep. He trembled, fists tight at his sides. If I told you to stay, I wouldn't. If I begged, you'd be begging silence. Don't walk away. I must. He stared hard at her. Why? Because she told me to leave when you finally knew. His body stiffened. She said that? Yes. She wanted you gone. She wanted you whole. He swallowed hard, voice thin. And you think this leaves me whole? No. But it leaves you true. His chest ached. He turned his back to her, looking out at the land, scorched and hollow. I don't know who I am anymore. Her voice softened. You're her choice. That's enough. He whispered, almost to himself. It doesn't feel enough. It will. The silence pressed long. The town's church bell rang faint in the distance, but no one came. Only the wind moved across the empty field. He turned back, eyes searching her face. Tell me who you really are. I already did. You said sister. You said voice. None of that means anything. It means everything. He shook his head. You could be anyone. A girl with no name, a thief, a ghost, a lie. Or all of it. His voice cracked. I deserve to know. You already do. He stepped closer, desperate. Say it plain. I can't. You won't. I can't. His face twisted. Then damn you. She nodded once. If that's what you need. He pressed his hands to his face, dragging down over his jaw. You make me hate you. Good. He dropped his hands, eyes wide. Good. Yes. Hate is proof you feel. Proof you're alive. He shook his head, voice rough. You're twisted. No, I'm leaving. He stared at her feet on the steps, bare and blackened with ash. Like the day you came. Yes. His eyes burned. You think I'll forget? No. You think I'll forgive? No. Then why do it? Because memory is stronger than forgiveness. The words hung, cutting deeper than anger. She rose from the steps, walking past him, slow, steady. He reached out but stopped short, his hand hanging in the air before dropping to his side. She stepped onto the dirt road, bare feet pressing into dust, leaving faint prints behind. He called after her, voice raw. Will I ever see you again? Her answer came without pause. No. His chest hollowed. Then this is goodbye. Yes. He staggered forward, choking. Say something else. Anything else. She stopped. Turned halfway back. Her face was unreadable, her eyes shadowed but sure. Goodbye is enough. He felt his knees weaken, his throat tight. Wait. She tilted her head. Tell me one more of her words. The maid's voice came soft, final. If you ever lose me, let the land keep me. If you ever remember me, let it be without shame. I was yours. Tears blurred his sight. His mouth opened, but nothing came. She turned back to the road. Now she's only yours, he whispered, barely sound. And you? She kept walking. I was never meant to stay. The road stretched ahead of her, long and empty. Her figure grew smaller, fading into the pale horizon. He stood at the doorway that no longer was, frame blackened, beams broken, ash still smoldering around his boots. The wind stirred the silence. The fields stood still. He pressed his hand over his chest where hers had held it the night before, his wife's words alive there still. He did not call after her again. He did not move. He only stood, alone where the door once was, watching the land stretch endless, the emptiness filled only by memory. And in that silence her voice remained, his wife's carried in him forever.